There is a place within you that no noise can touch, a sacred space where time slows down, and the soul begins to breathe. This place is silence, and it is not empty as many believe. It is full of answers, full of clarity, full of the whispers of your own heart. Most of us spend our lives avoiding this depth because silence feels uncomfortable. We fear what we might hear. But the truth is, silence does not create pain, it only reveals the pain we've been hiding beneath layers of distractions. When you finally dare to enter the stillness, you discover something astonishing. Your mind quiets, your breath deepens, and your heart begins to speak. The chaos of the outside world fades, and you realize the universe inside you is far greater than anything outside. In the depth of silence, your true voice awakens. Not the voice conditioned by fear, not the one shaped by expectations, but the voice of your soul, the eternal, unchanging truth that has always been with you. Close your eyes. Take a slow breath. Feel it. The journey begins here. Why does silence feel so hard in a world obsessed with noise? Because silence is honest. It strips away illusions. It brings you face to face with yourself, the real you, not the one you show the world. And that can feel overwhelming at first. When the noise is gone, you start hearing your own thoughts, your fears, your pain, your desires. This is why so many avoid stillness. We drown in work, in conversations, in scrolling endlessly through screens because the thought of being alone with ourselves feels unbearable. But here is the secret: silence is not punishing you, it is liberating you. The discomfort you feel in stillness is not silence hurting you, it is your inner wounds asking for attention, asking for healing. Stay long enough, and the sharp edges soften. The fear dissolves. And then, like a deep breath after a storm, peace enters. Silence becomes your greatest friend, your safest place. Silence has its own language, but it does not speak in words. It speaks in feelings, in sensations, in deep inner knowing. When you allow silence to embrace you, you begin to notice things you never did before: the sound of your own breath, the rhythm of your heartbeat, the way your body feels when it is no longer tense. These are messages. Silence tells you when you are aligned and when you are lost. It tells you what truly matters and what doesn't. But you can only hear this when you stop forcing answers and start listening. Listening without expectation, without judgment. In that openness, life speaks. And you will realize something profound: every answer you've been seeking in books, in people, in achievements, was always within you, waiting for the moment you became quiet enough to hear it. There was once a young monk who sought enlightenment. He went to a wise teacher and said, "Master, I want peace. Tell me the secret." The master gave him a small bell and said, "Go to the mountains. Ring this bell every time your mind wanders, and return to me after 30 days. The monk left, confident he would return quickly. But in the mountains, he realized something: his mind never stopped wandering. He rang the bell hundreds of times a day. Days turned into weeks. At first, he was frustrated. Then one day, after countless rings, something shifted. The bell fell silent, not because he forced his mind to stop, but because he stopped fighting the noise inside him. He simply allowed it. And in that acceptance, silence came. The monk returned and said, "Master, the bell has been silent for days." The master smiled and said, "And so has your mind." The story reminds us, silence is not about eliminating noise but about transcending it. Silence is not just peaceful, it is deeply healing. When your mind stops running, your body begins to rest in a way no sleep can provide. Stress fades, your heart rate slows, your breath becomes gentle. In stillness, your nervous system resets. Emotional wounds begin to close. It is in silence that the broken pieces of your soul start finding their way back to wholeness. Every time you sit in quiet, you give yourself the medicine of presence. You tell your inner child, "I am here for you." And slowly, layer by layer, the pain you carried for years begins to dissolve, not because you forced it away, but because you gave it space to breathe and be. Stillness is the therapy your soul has been waiting for. Your true voice does not shout. It whispers. It has been whispering all your life beneath the chaos of opinions, judgments, and expectations. It whispers when you are quiet enough to hear it. That voice will never force you, it waits patiently until you choose to listen. And when you finally do, something changes. Life feels lighter. Decisions become clear. You no longer seek validation because you realize everything you've been looking for is already inside you. This voice is your intuition, your truth, your soul. And the only way to find it is through silence. Silence requires courage. It requires the courage to be alone, to sit with your own thoughts without running from them. The modern world glorifies constant activity because stillness feels like weakness. But in reality, stillness is strength. It takes strength to disconnect from the noise, to turn off the distractions, and just be. To allow every emotion to rise and fall without fear. Silence is not loneliness, it is intimacy with yourself. The moment you embrace it, you will realize, you were never truly alone. The entire universe is within you. There was a man who loved music. He played instruments day and night, believing sound was the highest form of beauty. One day, tired of noise, he climbed to the mountains seeking inspiration. He expected to find melodies in the wind or echoes in the valleys. But when he arrived, there was only silence. At first, it disturbed him. He shouted, he sang, he played his flute, but nothing answered. Exhausted, he sat in stillness. Hours passed. Then he began to hear something, the sound of his own breath, the heartbeat in his chest, the rustle of leaves. And suddenly, he understood, the greatest music was not something he created, it was the harmony of existence in silence. From that day, he played less and listened more, because he realized silence was not empty, it was the symphony of life itself. Silence is the greatest teacher you will ever have, but only if you are willing to be a student. It teaches patience, because nothing in silence is rushed. It teaches humility, because you realize how small your ego truly is. It teaches clarity, because in the absence of noise, truth becomes undeniable. And most importantly, it teaches love, love for yourself, love for life, love for the present moment. All the wisdom you seek exists in silence. But like any teacher, it will not chase you, you must come to it willingly. When you return from silence, the world is the same, but you are not. You speak less but mean more. You react less but feel deeper. You chase less but live fuller. Silence changes everything because it changes you. You realize happiness was never out there, it was always here, waiting in the quiet corners of your being. And now, whenever life becomes loud, you know where to go, not to escape, but to return to yourself. In the depth of silence, your true voice lives. And once you hear it, you can never forget it. Carry this stillness with you everywhere you go, and life will never be the same.